are doing a project in Austin, Minnesota for the Search Institute, which is located in Minneapolis. For those of you who don't know Austin, it is the home of the Hormel Company, where they actually have the Spam Museum. So worth checking out if you're ever near Austin. At Storyboard Films, we really believe in the value of not scripting stuff out and having organic conversations. And all those revolve around doing an interview. So I thought it would be useful to talk about how do you set up an interview both before you do the interview and during the interview so that you can get someone really relaxed and get the most out of it. Make sure to send the questions ahead of time. People normally aren't used to being interviewed, and so they want to get an idea of like what's going to be asked of them. The other thing that's beneficial about that is they're able to think about the questions for a little bit and kind of let them ruminate in their mind so that when they come, they've already spent some time thinking about what they want to say. The other thing to be mindful of is when you send questions to someone, limit the number of questions you send to them. I typically don't recommend sending more than 3 to 5. If you send a long list of questions to someone, you're going to get them awful anxious and uptight in a hurry. And then the other thing I really like to do, and I always say this to a subject, is, hey, I'm going to give you my pep talk. And here's what I say in my pep talk. First of all, I thank them for coming and saying, hey, thanks so much for your time. This is going to be really low key. All we're going to be doing is having a conversation. I'm going to ask you questions and you're just going to talk to me. The other thing I say to them is, this is going to sound weird, but you actually don't even have to worry about what you're saying. That's my job. I'll pay attention to what you're saying and make sure I get what I need. The most important thing for you is to speak from your heart and not from your head. I spend a lot of time, just asking about themselves. Oh, how long have you lived in Austin? What do you do? Have you ever been to the museum? Do you have kids? And just kind of develop a rapport. And a lot of times when the interview starts, they look at me with a funny look and say, did we start? And I'm like, yeah, we started. Spending that time with someone up front gets them really comfortable. Think of your questions as a guide, not as a rigid script, because there's nothing worse than someone going, so tell me about XYZ. That is really stiff, and that's not going to encourage a natural conversation. So what I like to do is I look at the question and I kind of think of how I want to say it based on the flow of the conversation just to make it seem natural. Don't be afraid to ask follow-up questions. A lot of times some of the best information that comes out is someone says something and you get curious about what they say. Oh, I heard you said that. Like what else did that mean? Or what else is behind that? A lot of times the best stuff comes out of a follow-up question. I sometimes will just intentionally not ask a question and just offer my commentary just to make them feel like it's more of an equal weighted conversation. Like, hey, I noticed you said this. I think that's really cool because X, Y, and Z. It kind of keeps that conversational element of it on an equal footing. If you have any questions or any comments, feel free to leave them. And thanks again. Have a great day.